Hello, everybody, and welcome. I am Phantom Limb Gamer. You may call me Phantom or PLG, and this is Retro Rap with PLG. Yeah, 7 o'clock p.m. Central. Hey, Robin Between, how are you doing? Welcome in. Thank you for joining. If you guys are new to my channel, I'm Phantom Limb Gamer. You may call me PLG. I am the host with the most, just not the most legs, as I am a left below knee amputee. However, what I lack in limbs, I make up for in personality and sense of humor. And this is the Stumping Grounds. Thank you so much. Setting up your fixed. Oh, that's nice. This is Retro Rap at PLG. It is a segment that I do. I do it periodically on Wednesdays, and I do it every Saturday. And it's where I interview other Twitch streamers. So it's a great way to bring different communities together. Sorry, I'm looking for my... Here it is. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry. There we go. Boom. Retro Rap is... the purpose of Retro Rap is to try to bring other streamers together. And... try to help new viewers find new chat communities that they can belong to. So, last Saturday, I interviewed Thunderfoot Bros. I interviewed Bacon and Sane. If you want to check out that interview or other previous interviews, you can check out my Twitch VOD. If you are a member of my Discord, you can actually check out the Discord. There's a channel in there with past Retro Rap interviews. So yeah, given all hail the Possum of Corruption. We're just waiting for Possum to come back on here. And yeah, so this is gonna be a fun interview, guys. Looking forward to it. Next Saturday. No problem, Possum. Next Saturday, I'm interviewing, this Saturday, I'm interviewing a new Twitch streamer. His name is Noho Vegan Gamer, and that's gonna be. Sounds personal. He's a new streamer, actually. He's only got like 20-some followers, so that's gonna be Saturday's interview at 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. That's gonna be a fun interview, guys. You're not gonna want to miss that. He's a brand new Twitch streamer, and that's the point of this, is to help other streamers out. So I'm really looking forward to that. And here he is, guys. He's just putting his earphones in right now. So, guys, without further ado, I'm going to bring on PowerOpossum. And there he is.
Yo, 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 yo!
How you doing, buddy?
What's up?
How you doing?
What's going on?
Not much,
I'm doing
good. Good. Thank you so much for joining me on Retro Rap. I'm really
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Looking forward. I've been looking forward to this. I really like watching your streams, Possum. For those that haven't watched Possum streams before, he's very, very energetic, I would say, and it's a lot of fun watching him stream. He just kind of got that it factor when it comes to Twitch streamers. Pants are always optional. Yes. If you guys have not checked out PowerOpossum streams, go check him out. That is the link to his Twitch page, and then you can also follow him on Twitter. That's his Twitter page right there. So why don't you, PowerOpossum, why don't you take about 15 seconds and just give a quick elevator speech to the viewers here about who you are.
Sure, I'm PowerOpossum. I'm a retro OG hardware streamer, meaning I stream on original hardware, on a CRT television, and I'm 100% charity. Everything that goes to the channel goes to charities of wildlife and abused animals, and is often at least doubled, but often tripled through the organizations that I give through by networking with them and setting up with them, telling them what I'm doing, and usually they're like, yeah, they're on board. So that's basically that's me. I, like PLG said, I'm a hype stream. It's it's a place to chill. Of course, you can chill here, but it's kind of loud and crazy. A lot of fun. Everyone's welcome. It's just, a good time. So I do also stream in between memes and YouTube stuff and a little bit of music, and just to like break up some of the gameplay and do a little bit of just chatting. But that's basically retro is my mainstay.
That's really cool. I gotta say, I really admire you for being a charity streamer. 100% of the donations, all that stuff. Any money you make goes direct. That's so cool. I really
thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
I really admire that about you, man. That's really cool. So we'll get started here, Possum. My first question: if you could have any video game character play you in an upcoming movie about your life, who would you choose and why?
It would be a tie between Geralt from The Witcher or Duke Nukem.
So let's start with the first one. Why what's the guy? I never played The Witcher. What's the guy's name?
Geralt. He's basically a monster hunter, kind of like a gruff and soft-spoken badass who travels the land and slays monsters and helps townfolk and stuff like that. But he's a mercenary of sorts. He's got combative powers. He's got long hair. He's just all around kind of like a cool dude. I like to represent me.
Awesome. And then why Duke Nukem?
Duke Nukem's like the other side of my personality. It's like, okay, yeah, the badass who's like really over the top, kind of edgy, kind of filthy, kind of stuck in his own time period of the 90s, perpetually like a man-child, but like able to get the job done. Kitschy and just a product of his era. So even though he's like kind of unlikable, he's likable in his unlikability.
That's a great likable and his unlikable capability. Is that what you said?
And his he's likable in that he's likable in that he's unlikable.
Likable that he's unlikable.
It's like, yeah, he's oxymoronic because like he's kind of a Chad, but you can't help but like him.
Oh, that's a great answer. Okay, now maybe this is going to be the same answer, maybe not. If you could play the part of any video game character in an upcoming movie, who would it be and why?
It would be Sparkster from Rocket Knight Adventure.
Oh,
and I would have them do all the makeup so that I would look like a possum in a suit of armor with a badass sword and a rocket pack. Fighting the pig kingdom and saving my possum kingdom from the evil pigs.
That's awesome. Kind of a bonus question. Why PowerOpossum? Where did that name come from?
It actually came from the game that I just told you about, Rocket Knight. So Rocket Knight is a game with a possum made in Konami for Sega Genesis.
Okay.
And it's one of my favorite games of all time. And it's a possum with a jetpack, a suit of armor, and a sword. So.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. So that's I kind of wanted to like make my own sprite version of that. So I did PowerOpossum, which is like a mech version of him, like Metal Sonic. PowerOpossum is the mech version of Sparkster. So that's kind of where that all came from.
That's pretty awesome, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. What's the first video game you fell in love with, and why was it that game?
So the first video game I really, really fell in love with was probably, I thought, when you love someone and then you fall out in love and then you fall in love again and you realize that the other love wasn't as real or strong. Yes. That's kind of what happened to me my first game I fell in love with was Super Mario Brothers, because that's the first game I really had
PLG.
at home. Yeah, so it was like, like a lot of people my age, I started off with the NES, and I had Super Mario Bros. Duck Hunt Combo. And then when I got Mario 2, that's the game I first really, really fell in love with, because it was like nothing kind of like Mario 1 except for platforming, but the art design and the weirdness of it and the colors and like the gameplay and just the zaniness of it, I really, really, really love the bosses and all that stuff. In fact, I often wish they would bring back some of those old bosses that never showed their face again in that game. And when I played that, I was like, oh my god, I played it over and over and over and over and over again. It was probably the first game that I speed ran without knowing I was speed running, because I just wanted to see how fast I could beat it with each character. And yeah, I mean, after that, I kind of fell in love with video games in general. And then, of course, Mario 3 came out, and Mario 3 was fucking excellent, and I absolutely love that game too. So really, as cliche as it is, like the Mario series was my first introduction into home video gaming, like on the regular. So that series is what I fell in love with. Mario 2 was my pinnacle out of those three. To me, it was special. And if you know the history of Mario 2, you know it wasn't really a Mario game to begin with.
Yep, it was. They say that the Japanese said it was too hard for Americans to play the original Mario.
Right.
Super Mario.
And then the fact that the video game crash happened and Mario 2, the Lost Levels as we know them in here in the States, it was too much like Mario 1 except too hard. So they were like, nah, this can't happen. So they reskinned Doki Doki Panic, and you had this unique, weird game that, was like, wait, this is a Mario game? And it was, but it wasn't.
And actually, I thought it worked out well as a Mario. I really like Mario 2.
Thunderfoot.
Hey, Thunderfoot, how you doing, buddy?
Me too. They made it work.
They did. Yeah, they made it work. So, kind of an aside, did you see the wizard when they introduced Mario 3? Why are my alerts?
I did see the wizard.
I heard a tapping. As
Say what?
someone gently
Sorry,
rapping,
hold on one second.
at my chamber door.
Awesome.
You're fine.
I don't know why my sorry guys, my alerts keep going off, and I could have sworn that I shut them off.
Excuse me. Yeah, so The Wizard was a movie that I absolutely loved.
They are all shut off. Okay, well. Yeah, The Wizard was awesome, man. I really liked The Wizard. It
was Thunderfoot.
I was really, growing up, I was actually a big Fred Savage fan.
Yeah, me too.
So I like
I love the Wonder Years.
Yep.
Yeah, and I had a huge crush on Winnie for the longest time.
Yep. Who hasn't?
I know.
Who didn't, actually?
Who didn't, yeah.
Cool. And then,
And the Wizard, another funny story about the Wizard is I actually did do Nintendo Championships when I was a little kid in Miami, Florida.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, my mom brought me there, and I got into the finals.
Okay.
Of the top 10 people, and I was number 9 or something like that.
Did you really?
Yeah, I was 6 years old because I played the game so many times. I knew where all the secrets were, and it was just basically you played it and you tried to get as many as far as you could in the small amount of time that they gave you each round. And I got to the final round, and the prize that I got was 50 NES titles and $500 for college, which was small but cool to even get just randomly. I was just like, Mom, I want to go to this, and she brought me, and I just played it and played and played, and she thought I was gonna stay for an hour. It was 7 hours later. She's kind of pissed about it until she found out that I won a bunch of games and money for college.
That is absolutely awesome. You were in the Nintendo. That is so cool, man.
Yeah, my time was around 17 minutes at the time, which, I used whistles and everything to get really far, but there's no glitches or anything, no emulators on the spot right there. And it was very similar to what they show in The Wizard, just like less like of a movie set, but like you had all the fucking TVs in the stationary TVs in the towers where you had the game controllers that stuck out and stuff. And you sat down, and they gave you a number, and you played it. You got your number, and you played the game. And if you passed, they would call your number next, and you'd go on to the next round. And that was basically it.
That is what a cool experience. Thank you for sharing that story. That's really cool. Hey, Abby Jams, Jimmy Woods. Hey, Abby Jams, how are you doing? Jetta, how are you doing? If you guys are just joining, this is Retro Rep with PLG. My guest is PowerOpossum.
Yeah, Robin.
And if you want to
follow
welcome
in, Abby.
PowerOpossum, you can follow him. That's his Twitch link right there. And this is his for his Twitter right there.
My life greatest accomplishment right there. I don't even count my master's degree. It was getting in the finals for Mario 3 when I was 6 years old.
That is so cool. Not just that you competed in it, but you got so far. That is amazing.
Yeah. I was obsessed with video games as a kid, and my dad let me play them as much as I want, as long as like I got good grades. He's like, play them all you want, I don't care.
Well, that makes sense.
So I would play the crap out of these games. I mean, like, I would only have a few games at a time, and I would just play them over and over until I knew everything about them. And so when I saw this, it was like I didn't even need to train. I was already playing the game so constantly, and I was like, let's go do it and see if I can win something, And luckily, my mom took me, and it was a blast.
God, that is such a cool story, man. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
God,
thank you.
Thank you for letting me. I wouldn't have even known to ask that. That is so cool. Which game, Possum? Which game have you beaten? Did you think that was going to be really, really hard? It ended up being really, really easy. And what made it easy?
Okay, so Abby, maybe you'll agree with me in this. I thought Soldier Blade for the PC Engine, Turbo Graphics, it's a shmup, and I thought it was going to be harder, but by no means is it easy. It was just a lot easier than I thought it was going to be to beat, and the reason why is because if you're able to, you're able to get power-ups fairly quickly. And some shmups, it's not as easy to get power-ups fairly quickly. So I breezed through that game like the second or third time I played it. I beat it, on even on the harder difficulty. I would say that overall it's just a balanced, fast-moving shmup. It's just like a very like well-regarded shmup. So whenever you hear like a hardcore well-regarded shmup, you think, oh my god, it's gonna be so damn hard. And so I guess my expectations were gauged way up. And so even though it's not an easy game, it was easier than I thought, and it surprised me.
Cool.
And I would say that in Final Fantasy 2.
Oh.
For the SNES. The US, because I know that the whole Final Fantasy chronological order, like, and all that stuff gets really confused back in the 16-bit era. But Final Fantasy 2 it was easier than I thought it was, because I came off of Final Fantasy 1 on the NES, being the first Final Fantasy game I played, and that game is hard as nails unless you know exactly what to do, which it doesn't tell you. And there was no internet when I was playing it. There was no internet.
Yep.
There wasn't even AOL yet. There's nothing.
Yeah.
Nintendo Power.
The Nintendo tip line. You can call the Nintendo tip line.
Yeah, Nintendo tip line. So my dad can be like, I spent enough money on video games. He would have killed me. And the one time I texted, you remember when texts used to cost 5 cents a piece? Well, I used to have like a Nokia bar phone, and I thought it was hot shit. And in high school, I ran up a $600 bill.
Oh my god, dude!
Yeah, and my dad called me up, and he just texted me while I was in class, and he says, "You're dead." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "You're fucking dead, son." I was like thinking the whole time. I was like, "What did I do wrong? And I was like, "What did I do?" When I got home, when I got in that car, he's like, "You're paying me all $600 and some odd dollars because you texted like." He's like, you texted like 6,000 text messages.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
so
funny.
kids, remember, you get free texts and messages. We used to only get free nights and weekends. Remember that. And the internet used to be charged by the hour. Welcome in, Emily. Hey, Fayray.
Oh, that's funny, man. What can new viewers expect when they visit your channel?
So new viewers from me can expect, like I said before, and like you said, high energy. Although everyone can chill. If you're a lurker, or if you want to contribute, whatever, it doesn't matter. I just let people know, like, you have those people who are really chill, like having like a nice cup of coffee, on a rainy day kind of stream. And then you have me, it's like just like kind of full speed zaniness. A lot of times it'll be like normal, and then people will just spam channel redeems, because ultimately, sometimes it does get a little out of hand, but ultimately I like to let everyone have control of the channel, use their channel points freely, have a blast, troll me, maybe even troll chat in a fun way a little bit with them, and like, break the monotony of a game or something. You can expect to be able to be yourself. You can expect to have really any sort of sense of humor, except the obvious like stuff, like the obvious offensive stuff. I'm not just talking about, what I mean? Just like, be yourself, you can expect to, have a good time, and you can ask me anything. Other than that, retro games and a fun community who likes dirty jokes. You can expect to be shout out if you're a streamer in my stream, and, you can expect to be part of the community. I love having new people. I love my regulars, and we just have a good time. And I do it to have a good time, and I do it to raise money for the causes that I raise for it. It just happens to coincide together. That's why I started streaming Twitch. Was like, I want to meet people and have a community, and I want to raise money, because I would raise money on Facebook, but I was like, I can offer some entertainment and and I can triple their money so to go even further, and I can create incentive, and we can have a blast. But either way, at the end of the day, just you can expect to be entertained for a good chunk of time as far as live streaming goes, and you can expect to have a laugh and also be treated with respect.
And the icing on the cake to me is that you're doing it all for charities, man. That's awesome.
I love doing it. That's what motivates me. Don't get me wrong, I like money just like anybody else, but I know that I was going to need something outside of myself to motivate me to do it regularly, even if I enjoy it, because it's just the type of person I am. I have my own motivations for myself, and those only go so far. I really am more focused on being a part of something else, or bigger, or helping something else in my cause, because just going and earning money to get a job, like a job per se, I'm grateful for it, but it's like, this is more like a passion, this is something more that makes me feel really good about doing what I'm doing, not just adds the element of I'm also having a good time.
And that's cool, man. I admire that. Talk about the importance of networking on Twitch.
Okay, so networking on Twitch is just like anything else in society. Networking expands your reach. Networking expands your experiences socially. Networking expands entrepreneurship. If you're on the entrepreneurial angle of Twitch, which there is one, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just networking is important if you want to grow in society on any level, So Twitch, it's especially important because there's such a high social component, and I for one have reaped the benefits of networking well earlier. Now, when I networked early on Twitch, I'd never streamed, I'd never been on Twitch. I got on Twitch and I was like, hey, what's this all about? So I started watching other people's streams, and I was like, I want to do this, but I didn't say anything or mention it or worry about it for a while. I was like, I want to see how this works, see how other people do stuff, get in their spaces, be part of their community, and learn, but also meet new people. And networking that way and continuing to do so made my first steps in Twitch really easy. this is not a brag. This is just like thanks to the people of networking and thanks to the cool people I networked. I was an affiliate like you, Abby. Yeah, that's right. I'm calling you out in a good way. I was like affiliate in 7 days, like the minimum amount. Yeah, and then because because I had networked so well and like had a blast in chat, like my emote slots were filled. Everything was happening so fast that I was like lagging behind it because I was also learning how to do everything, and I was not expecting the kind of response I got. But like networking and spending time in other people's channels and their communities. Like, I don't want to say do it to like grow. Do it because you want to, but know that a really good part of it that will benefit you is that you will grow, because when you do stream, people who are following you that you network with are going to check you out, and if you're fun or their style, they're going to stick around or show up when they can. And that's how I've gotten such a bigger response, more than my expectations. Granted, I gauged my expectations low. I still blew them out of the water because of networking. So I can't stress enough that you do it. And networking doesn't have to be like, hi, businessman B, I'm businessman A. Nice to meet you. Let's exchange cards and services. It's more like, I like this space. Hey, what's up? I'm going to spend some time here. It's like, don't try too hard at it. Just have fun, meet new people, be yourself, and your name will just kind of get out there. And when you people will ask you if you stream, and if you're like, no, but I'll stream soon, well, they're going to follow you because they're going to want to see you stream later. Trust me. And that's what happened. And I'm very grateful and, dare I say, blessed, even though I'm not a religious man. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right, Emily. Emily also mentioned I do have 3 dogs, and they are often on stream. So,
cool.
There's that too.
I don't think I've seen them on stream. I'm gonna have to watch the streams more.
I have a GoPro that I use for them on my stream.
Oh, yes, you're right. Yes, okay, yes.
Yeah,
I remember.
The old one's the old one's easiest to keep on. Hashtag blessed. Hashtag eat love pray.
Again, if you guys are just joining this is Retro Rep with PLG. I have my guest is PowerOpossum live from the Millennial Falcon. Is that the Millennial Falcon in your background? Is that what that is?
It's like the inside of like one of those space capsules.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, basically the Millennium Falcon, because I'm Han Solo with long hair.
It looks like the Millennial Falcon. So thank you so much for joining again. And then, guys, again, this is if you guys are not following PowerOpossum, go give him a follow. You can check out his content. And then this is his Twitter feed, or his Twitter handle. You can follow him there.
Hail the possum.
Hail the possum.
Funny.
So we kind of talk about the importance of networking. Let me get your thoughts. What are your thoughts on the follow-for-follow mentality on Twitch?
No.
Expand.
Don't do it. It's a trap. No, but for real, on that note, if people are like, hey, follow each other on a stream like that you've been going to, and you like some of the people in chat, and y'all want to follow each other and give each other a chance, that's fine. That's a little different. But like follow for follow mentality, it's like if somebody doesn't have any experience with you and they're just following you for a follow, like that they're probably never gonna see you. Or a lot of times what I hear is like they unfollow you after just to gain a follow. I'm not saying everybody has like that kind of motive, but that's in the mix. And you have to keep in mind, like, unless you've established some sort of rapport with a community or people, it's just like look at it as a lead. The value of that lead of follow for follow is going to be very low, And I can say this, like, followers are nice. When I get new followers, that's new potential, but it's always from like being in a community or from my channel. It's never from follow. And those followers are a lot more potent. Those followers are a lot more involved in the channel, in the community, in my chat, lurking, whatever. They're just there more often. That percentage of viewers to followers is higher. If you want to break down all the number stuff, because that's what follow is about. It's not about follows, it's about viewers and your proportion of viewers to followers and your engagement. It does, like follows don't matter, because I've seen people who have 1.5k followers and someone who has 500 and they're getting the same amount of viewership. So
yep, I agree with that. Kind of a follow-up to that question. How am I going to ask this? How do you feel? Do you feel that bigger streamers have a responsibility to raid smaller streamers? Why or why not?
you know what? I think that that's almost like a borderline ethical question, in that, should they? I personally think they should, but I can see logically why they might not. So I qualify both. So I can see why they might not, because do they know that smaller streamer? Their larger reputation, they have a lot more to lose, right? Larger streamers are making their complete living off of this. So a lot depends on it, more than if it's we're smaller streamers or if it's a hobby. So I get why maybe they don't. I'm not saying I agree with it. Why I think they should, or why I think they should spend a little more time with smaller communities, is because, honestly, being a big streamer takes a lot of work, but it's also it's kind of like a privilege,
Yep.
And it's kind of like a really sweet gig if you get it, It's not easy. Again, it's not as easy as it seems, but it's also pretty fucking sweet. And I think if you are that high, and you have that kind of influence, then it's really, really nice to share it, and you should. That's just me. I would probably vet someone, or spend my time in smaller streamers before I just randomly do one, but I would definitely raid people. I wouldn't waste 500, for example, Mike Matei. I don't think Mike Matei raids people. I've never seen him raid anyone. So Mike Matei has 600, an average of 600 viewers in retro, right? I never seen him raid anyone. Imagine what that could do for somebody's Twitch channel. Just one raid, and that person that he raids is that he's vetted or seen is decent and entertaining, or matches his kind of flavor or whatever, or complements it, then he could help. But it's human nature to be selfish too. So he probably doesn't, because he probably is too lazy, doesn't care, or doesn't want to take any risks to his quote unquote reputation. So that's where I kind of stand on that. Rating is great. Rating is a great part of Twitch. Rating is to me, a very special part of Twitch, where you can say, hey, I have this to give, I have this to share, and these are free agents. These are people. They can choose to stay, go, leave, or otherwise, but I'm going to leave them here, and that's how it works. And I've gained a lot of new followers from outside communities from raids, and I really appreciate them. And I think they're a really fun way to network.
Excellent. And then, what are your... So you're a charity streamer. What are your current and future goals for your channel?
So my current goals are just to keep raising as much money as I am would be nice. If it stayed the same, it would be great. For the amount of time and energy I put into it, and the amount I'm able to raise for these charities, I would be more than happy for forever, But if I were ever to get any bit of size, let's say I got sizable, I would want to spend more time and energy and focus into it as far as the back end, like a business, and be able to have more of an impact that way. When I say that, though, I have no expectations. I do work hard at it, but I enjoy it. And if whatever happens, kind of happens. That's really my mentality about it. I do want to raise money for charities, but at the end of the day, when I show up, I want to entertain, have a good time, and have people feel compelled to either stay or give, whatever they want to do. Those are my only goals, and I can tell you right now, having that kind of realistic or like unexpected goals really will really help your energy and your longevity on the platform. Because if you have these lofty goals, or you look at higher streamers, or you think like, you know, you see someone grow really fast for whatever reason, it's going to drive you crazy, and you're going to burn out because you're going to think that you're not good, or you're not going to have realistic expectations because you're not growing as fast as you think you should, or you're not doing as good as you think you should. And I can just tell you, if you look at Twitch stats, if you have over 15 average viewers or whatever, you're doing really well. Because the vast majority of streamers don't. You're just focused on the top. So my goals are really, really humble. They're really gauged. They're really grounded in reality. So if anything were to shoot beyond that, I'm amazed and grateful. And if it's not, I'm still grateful and still having a good time regardless. That's kind of how I stay level and keep it fresh and keep it real and keep me grounded no matter what happens with it, because I like being grounded. I like being real.
Do you have aspirations of being a Twitch partner?
It would be nice. Yeah, I would definitely would like to. Yeah. The thing I think that my particular aspect on Twitch partnership is, it will come when it comes. If it comes 3 years from now, it comes 3 years from now. I want to be enjoying streaming is my number one goal, because me enjoying streaming makes everything else more successful and easier for me and everyone else on the platform, because people come here to watch us, to chill, to socialize, and to be entertained. Those are my three goals. Because the other goals of like me beating games, community, and charity are going to grow with those three, right? The holy trinity of Twitch.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool. Final question I have, and then we'll kind of open it up to some Q&A. What's 3 pieces of advice you'd give to a new Twitch streamer?
Also, Abby, I will answer that question. That's a good question. Any advice I could give to a new Twitch streamer would be some of the things I've already said that I'll go over real quick. One is to network, but network in a way that's fun and social. Visit channels that you want to see content from, and it doesn't have to be just what you want to do. Just explore. Get to know people. Have fun. The second is be realistic and be humble. Because I'm telling you right now, just think about yourself. You have all these, you have limited time, right? And you have unlimited options of entertainment. You got to think about when people have those things, right? Just anyone being there, watching you, contributing to you, lurking, whatever, just being there is a big deal. Okay, so if you look at it that way, each viewer is a big deal in that way, then you're going to not be as easily discouraged. You're going to be more resilient. And the number one thing on this is just be resilient. Be resilient. Just do it because you love to do it, and you will grow at different speeds. Know that Twitch, Joe Gamesh said it earlier on Pesty's chat, Twitch is fickle. That's so true. Twitch is fickle. You could have so many views one day. People drop off. People leave for life reasons. People leave because they don't like you. Not because they don't like you as a person, because they like other channels more, because they blend in with that community more. That's okay. Just be prepared for that. I have a pretty steady viewership, and I feel really good about that, and it makes me feel very confident. And in a lot of ways, I was spoiled. But I can say that there are days where they're going to be lower than others, and even I feel a little discouraged, and then I remember, hey, a bunch of people still showed up, and we had a good time. Why am I feeling discouraged? And it goes right out the door, and I'm fine again, and I want to continue doing it. Another thing is, if you can set a schedule, I know because I have a hard time doing so, do so. If you can't, don't feel bad about it. my advice is, if you're a scheduled person, schedule the least commitment. Let's say 2 days a week. Make sure you're there those 2 days a week. If you want to stream more, you can always stream more. But if you have like at least a little base consistency of days and times, it'll go a long way to helping you for steady growth. Another thing is just be yourself. Don't fake it. Don't worry about what other people think of you. Because it's just like being liked in society. It's just like being yourself is your best chance, because you're going to be more comfortable in your own skin than the costume, the skin suit you're trying to wear of another streamer or whatever it is. And pace yourself. Take breaks when you need them. It's okay. Like, I know people think that if you leave Twitch for a little while, everyone's going to forget about you. They're not. You might go, you might be, like, kind of, like, in the middle of their mind or in the back, but, like, when you show up, they're going to remember who you are, unless you leave for, like, a year or something, like, they're going to remember who you are, you're going to pick up right back from where you left, and even, like, it's even good to take breaks, because leave them wanting more, Absence makes the heart grow fonder, read the room. Like, sometimes I end a stream a little earlier than planned, because I can see the ebbs and flows of chat, and I know, like, I'm at an energy / viewership peak. I've had a while. I see someone good to raid. Me raiding someone that's cool or new is going to be more beneficial for them in my channel than streaming another 2 hours. Have, like, that eye and that feel for that, like, peak. Your peak performance as far as, like, your energy and, like, that peak viewership and, like, looking at other people online that you'd like to raid. So that's probably the main things I would say to new streamers that I've learned so far.
That's great.
And stay away from Streamlabs. Learn on OBS first. It takes a little longer, but it's worth it.
I would absolutely agree with that. Yes. It took me a while
I'm
to
suffering that right now. Because Slobs is always fucking up on me. And lately it's been dropping my connection, and I thought it was Comcast, but it's actually been Slobs. And now, like, migrating everything over mid streaming and doing everything is kind of a pain in the ass.
That's some great advice, man. Okay, so I know people have already been asking questions. I know.
Yes, Thunder.
I know Abby had a question. Did you? You said.
Did you ever? Yeah, she said, "Do you ever wish your channel's growth would have been slower?" Robin also said, "Can overwhelmingly fast do more harm than good?" It can, in a way, I guess, because on Twitch it's hard to say, because, like, you want, like, growth is always kind of good, because even if you don't retain all of it and retain a little bit, it's still growth. But it also can be overwhelming if, like, you're not ready for it, and maybe your mental state isn't ready for it, or that pressure, you're not ready for that pressure, and it's best to ease on, like, and grow with your community rather than, like, lagging behind it. As far as Abby, I wish I ever grew a little slower? No. I think sometimes for me personally as a person, like, a little bit of pressure and a little bit of, like, reliance from other people, not that they rely on me to stream, but, like, they kind of expect it's good motivation. It's good motivational fuel outside of myself. I can't always intrinsically motivate myself. Sometimes I need extrinsic forces to help motivate me. And the charity is part of that, and the community is part of that. Otherwise, I'd probably stream really irregularly, because I do it when I felt like it, only from me. And that's how I am by myself. Like, I just do things when I feel like doing them. And that doesn't work for a lot of life, just so you know.
So again, this is PowerOpossum. This is Retro Rep.
Thank you, Nigel.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, you're talking to... Did Nigel have a question?
No, he just said great advice, and I just wanted to thank him for saying that.
Got it. This is Retro Rep at PLG. PowerOpossum is my guest. Anybody else have any questions? There's his Twitch link right there if you'd like to go check out his channel or give him a follow. And then that's his Twitter feed right there if you want to give him a follow on Twitter. Possum knows what's up. I agree, man. I agree.
Thank you, Thunderfoot. And Nigel, you're right. Slobs doesn't have any de-interlacing options. They don't have a lot of stuff. Now, I will say this. All right, I will say for newbies, like just learning basic scenes is a lot easier on Streamlabs. It is easier. There's a lot of stuff that's built in that makes it easier to learn. But I would say if you want to give streaming a go, you can still make a simple scene on OBS, and in the long term, you'll be glad you did it because you can have a little more creative freedom with it, and it has less issues because there's less conflicting software stuff going on in general. It's because it's a little more open source. It's a little more open source than Streamlabs is, because Streamlabs is OBS with like their suite, their like skin and interface built over it,
Sure.
And it makes those plugins, quote unquote, make it easier, but they also can create more issues down the road when you have a lot of stuff going on. Because I have a lot of stuff going on my scenes now. It's probably something is conflicting. That is why I'm probably getting dropped. Literally downloading OBS right now. Yeah, excellent. Learn it. Why do you and Sin always pick on one another? And what do you do to motivate yourself to stream? What do I do to motivate myself to stream?
That's a good question.
So I honestly, like, I think about what the charity is. I think about every time, even when I didn't feel like streaming, after I did stream, I felt like I had a really good time and I felt good. And oddly, I feel productive when I stream, even though it's just gaming and stuff. This is like a very, I think about it as this is a very like cool thing, in that I get to have an opportunity to fight for causes, get people involved in them, and like invested in them, invested in the channel, have social interactions, and play games that I loved growing up with, or didn't get to play when I was growing up, but would love to play them. And share them with others. I mean, I have to sometimes think about that. So I like think about that and meditate on it before I stream to like get me in the mood and be grateful that I can even do it.
That's a great answer, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then Thunderfoot Bro says, I have a question.
Oh, and Raven wants to know why me and Sin always pick on each other. Well, if anybody knows Sin or anyone's chat with Sin before or whatever, we're good friends, and he's like a little brother. I love him to death, but he's an agitating little shit sometimes. So so I treat him like an agitating little shit brother that and he treats me like the older brother who thinks he knows it all, and we have a good time with it. I mean, it's all in fun. It really is. But I think everybody can laugh about it because we all know Sin and we all know me as far as like our public personalities, right? And we all know like it's just prime. And I'm not the only one. Like Sin and the boys ragging on each other. It's just like it's like high school all over again. It's just silly. It's just really fun.
Oh, that's funny. Thunder, I don't know if it's, I'm guessing it's Sane because he's feeling a little better. Did you have a question, Sane? He said, I need to do it. Maybe I will do it now that I am feeling a little better from COVID, but still need to quarantine. Hey, AMC, how you doing? Thank you for joining.
Good evening, AMC.
They've given each other boobs as a point redemption.
Not like bare breasts, like our faces on the women of women's bodies. For example, Sin is Beyonce in the Austin Powers movie. It's Sin's face on her body during like scenes and stuff, and then he has me like as a Bollywood princess with my face and beard and stuff, dancing and shit, like doing like Bollywood dances, because we're using that MyFace app. Hans Gutentag was one of the ones. He made me a few of the videos that I use on Face app, but it's just silly stuff like that.
Actually, Sane has a great question. What is your take on this? I think everyone has a different answer for this, but I think it is very important to cover. How do you bounce back from a bad stream? either from drama or poor turnout? And what advice do you have for people who have poor growth? That's a great question, actually.
Okay, so when I was first started streaming, and my community was reliant on the community that I just got comfortable with, instead of like other branching out, again back to networking. What I told myself in my particular case was like, when certain people in your community are on, they're spread really thin because you have this small community, which is great, that watch you and you watch them. But if a few of them are on, the viewership is spread like way thin, right? So that, going back to that knowledge and generalizing it, I would say think about why that stream had lower viewership, or the possibilities why, and be fair to yourself and be logical, okay? Because if you're going to think because you suck, that's fine. It's probably not true. But if you're going to think that way, fine. Also think that it could also be because like it's a night where no one's really on Twitch. It's a night where people are out all of a sudden. We have a pandemic that's in and out of like locking us down. There's different trends. The viewership on Twitch fluctuates all the time. It's always growing, but it fluctuates day to day like live viewers. Sometimes the particular people that come to you, right, are busy or, working or whatever. And there's just, my basic advice is think about this. There's so many factors why someone can't be watching you. Don't think it's because of you, okay? Don't think it's because of you if you have a bad stream or a few bad streams. Because it's not. It's just life.
No,
don't take it personally.
That's a good answer. One thing I will add to that is, if you are noticing poor growth, sometimes it's okay to like me. I've changed, and I'm not saying I'm a model streamer, but I'm just saying sometimes it's okay to change things. Like I know some streamers like Slime Games, he changes up his overlay sometimes. Sometimes it could just be an aesthetics thing. Sometimes it could be trying something new. It could be a number of things. It doesn't necessarily, it's not bad, but sometimes giving your channel a fresh look too can make a difference. I've noticed, like with Retro Rap here, I know it's what in the hell is that? I've noticed with Retro Rap, it's gotten pretty good reviews. So stuff like that. So just try different things, and you never know. But yeah, that is a good answer. Let's see. Is
that Pepe? Is that ACII Pepe art?
I have no idea, but that's pretty cool looking. Who's Pepe?
Pepe the Frog.
I don't.
As far as it's a meme. It's like a cartoon meme that has a lot of history. It's a complicated history, but it's a meme. It's just a meme character. The advice I have for people for poor growth as well is a few things. Like, one, you gotta stream because you like doing it.
Yes.
And first and foremost, and it has to be that first, because if it's not, it shows, and your growth is going to be slow. Secondly, slow growth is the average. Slow growth is the average. So if you're having slow growth, you're at least having average. It's just how it is. Twitch's discoverability is awful. It's awful. It's so bad. If you are someone who can do video editing and do medium format like YouTube, or even short format like TikTok, which you don't need really good editing skills. I've learned that really quickly from the people who are famous on there. If you can incorporate other like content, like real content like that, to create like another social media avenue, that goes a really long way to promoting growth. If that's something you do. I personally don't have time to make medium format videos, and I don't have the energy, and I don't even have the skill. So I rely on just pumping it out on Twitch and keeping my expectations low, because from a metaphysical standpoint, okay, we're streaming video games, right? In the United States of America and around the world, we're streaming games and content on a camera to people. Like, it's the fact that we can even do that is pretty cool. And if you start looking at things like that and like just being grateful for having a platform and having fun, I don't know, like it just seems a lot easier. And the things that you want, like growth and more viewership, like we all want. I'm not saying we don't all want them. You'll focus less on them, and you'll focus more on what you want to do with your stream because you like doing it, and because it becomes more of like a cool thing, an art form, and a form of expression. Treat it like that. Don't treat it like it's gonna make you anything. Pretend like it'll never make you any money ever. And if you can't do it doing that, then don't do it at all.
Oh, I totally agree with that. And the other thing, when you say have fun doing it, I think that if you're not having fun, your viewers...
Why the hell are you doing it?
Right, and people aren't going to want to watch you because you're like, well, this is kind of boring. He's not even enjoying himself. Why would I want to be someplace where someone's supposed to entertain me? How am I going to be entertained if they don't even like what they're doing?
That's true. That's true. The only partial exception to that is if like, I don't know, if you're satire, right? If you're like I don't know, like you're like a grumpy.
Oh, like it's your gimmick.
If you're it's acting or it's satire, right? If you're actually truly grumpy or miserable, it doesn't play off the same way.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It's too real. It's too real, and it hits close to home, right?
Yeah, no.
Like we all have annoying lives. Most of us have to like work and do all the annoying things we have to do. Okay, and so I just look at it that way. I'm like, we're all adults. We all have the annoying things to do. We all want to put something on. When we put something on TV, we want to escape those things. Even if it's watching something that makes you sad, you're escaping your own life to watch someone else's sadness. Yep. But like that's usually in like fiction or like drama. When people come on stream, right, they want to like see fun entertainment or like, I guess drama. I can't say drama doesn't sell, but like I wouldn't recommend being dramatic on Twitch, unless again it's satire.
And usually when it's satire, it's done very well. It doesn't look like it looks like they're enjoying themselves, because usually with satire they take it over the top.
Right, and there's like it's so ridiculous. But like, granted, in the age that we're living in now, some people their satire buttons are broken.
Yeah, that's true.
Is that TOS Pepe?
Whoever put, I think that was crucial. That was really cool. Anybody else have any questions?
Do you see Abby James's Pepe? Like she has like it looks like a laughing frog. Abby James's emote, that's Pepe. Can't wait till Possum gets a sound clip of Sin saying he has no Pepe. Well, that's gonna happen. By the way, yes, that's another thing, guys. I am 18 plus. I forgot to say that. I am 18 plus. Please, unless you're very progressive parents, don't bring your children into my stream. I don't mind them being there, but you might. And again, I'm kind to everyone. It's not about that. It's just like I am crude. I make crude humor. It is an adult channel, but we have a blast. So I just forgot to say that. I don't want anyone to bring their kids, because I think one time someone brought their kid to my stream. They weren't upset, but they were like, they had to like, they had to like cap it off real quick because I have a filthy mouth and people like to spin me around in a chair all the time. and I think, yeah, Jeddah asked me something about the spin chair. Speaking of which, someone asked me, was it Old School Pleb?
I think it was Old School. I know what you're talking. Yeah.
He asked me if I spin meat in my chair. I'm a vegetarian. I'm a vegetarian. I don't spin meat in the chair unless Old School Pleb, you're saying I'm a piece of meat, in which I say, you know what, don't objectify me.
Yes, true. Hey, Fat Matt, how you doing, man? Thank you for stopping by to say hi. I appreciate it. Let's see.
Also, how you doing, Fairy?
Yeah, Faye, I saw you. I saw you join in here, Faye. How you doing? How did you get?
I
Faye's
haven't
asking
seen
you
you
how
so
did you
long.
get so pretty.
How did I get so pretty? Luckily, when my dad's genetics matched with my mom's genetics, it turned out okay. That's all I can say. That and I get 8 hours of sleep a day.
Hey, man, never underestimate the power of a good night's sleep. I'll say that.
And also, thank you for the compliment. I take compliments really well. I appreciate that. I will feel really pretty when I go to sleep tonight. How did the chair spinning redeem get involved? I'm sorry. I'm PLG. I didn't mean to read the question.
No, you're fine. You're fine. How did it get started? How did the chair spinning redeem get started?
It's a meme I randomly loved, and then people thought it was funny too. And then, like, I don't know, one day I just spun in the chair with it, and then people were like, "Oh!" And I was like, "Ooh, a gimmick, a way to like hook people in and keep them around and hide the fact that I don't have any talent." And
oh, whatever. You don't have any talent. You have a lot of talent, my friend.
Thank you.
I think you do.
I appreciate that. You know what my talent is? I'll tell you what I think my superpower is in streaming. I just don't care. I don't look to offend, but I don't care what people think, you know? Because I know myself well enough. I'm not trying to purposely offend or hurt anyone, and I know myself, and at the end of the day, that allows me to be myself, and it doesn't mean that no one's ever not been offended from being in my channel. Very few have been, but like, if you're gonna be real or funny at all, or entertaining, really truly entertaining or funny, you're going to offend people. Be okay with it. It's just like, you just don't be a bigot. That's it. It's like really easy. You can be funny without being an asshole. You know what I mean?
Very true. I wish a lot of other streamers knew that. Robin Between is saying, question on my last
You're a natural, Abby.
You are a natural, by the way. Robin Between, on my last stream, I started to have voice troubles from having to talk so much. Allergies are really bad where I live, and I was clearing my throat a whole lot. Is there anything I can do for this beyond hydrating until I drown, which I intend to? So basically, if someone has a bad cold or they keep coughing, do you have any advice other than hydrating on what they can do to not do that?
Honestly, and this is gonna sound really, really weird, but like, get some like preserves, get some butter, right, and put it in the microwave and a little bit of honey, and put it in the microwave for like 30 seconds, so that it's warm. It's not hot, it's warm, and then you drink that.
Really?
And then you stay hydrated. Because here's the thing, like, hydration is good for you, but also, like, think about if your throat is dry. A bunch of water isn't going to moisturize your throat, right? Water doesn't necessarily always moisturize, right, by itself. It can actually dry out. So you want some like things in like those three things. Like, so there's like a lot of pectin in jam, which is what they put in cough drops. And it like coats your throat. You know, butter and dairy coats and lubricates things, right? Put some butter between your fingers and do that, and it'll feel like the slippity slidity, you know. And then you warm it up, because warming things helps your tissues just absorb stuff better. I mean, that's just generally speaking. That's why like hot tea, you know, and certain things is good for you. I also do like a nice hot green tea with lemon. That helps too. But some people, if you have allergies, you know, I highly suggest like some Benadryl, because if it's allergies that are drying it out, antihistamine is going to help you out. But that being said, Benadryl, you know, it can make you sleepy. So.
Wow, I'm impressed, Possum. I had no idea any of that, but I'm impressed that you knew that.
Yeah, I used to sing in choir, because I used to go to a Christian middle school, and I used to sing in choir, and they used to have stuff like that, you know. Now I have all this vocal fry, which isn't bad. Like, it works for me, right? But I have all this vocal fry because I gotta quit cigarettes. Don't smoke cigarettes. Don't.
PSA.
Don't. I'm serious. Don't. They suck. They're so hard to quit, and I hate them.
Abby is asking, what's something that you want to do with your channel that you've yet to do?
Ooh,
That's
there's a lot there. Also, AMC Jeep MJ, what product do I use to keep my hair luxurious, if any? That's a good question. I have this like spray and stuff that when I'm done using like good shampoo and conditioner, I use this spray and stuff when my hair is still wet after I bring it dry. Then I let it air dry, right? And then it's like super soft for like the next 4 days. And I only wash my hair every 4 days. You're not supposed to wash your hair every day, but you also don't want to get it all greasy and build up. So it's like 3 to 4 days for me is the perfect amount where it starts to look like I look like a greased rat and Fabio, in between a greased rat and Fabio.
That's great.
and I take like multivitamins. Believe it or not, that has a big deal to do with it because multivitamins have vitamin C and zinc in them. It's really good for your hair.
That makes sense, actually. I would have never thought of that, but yeah, that vitamin C, yeah, that makes sense.
And Raven, you're right. Electrolytes always help with mucus and dryness. That's a good point. Gatorade's good too, or Pedialyte. And what's something I want to do with my channel that I've never done before? I really, really, really want to do some. I mean, there's a few things. The first thing is simple. It's like I want to do more light gun games because I have a giant CRT and I could set up a green screen and do really fun, like me in the background or something doing like retro shooter games. That's something that I can do that a lot of people can't necessarily do because they don't have a CRT retro game set up all ready to go. So that's something, I know that people have done it, but it's not like common, but it is fun. And I think like it's also an ability to pantomime and like do overacting, which is great for stream. Another thing I want to do is play this train simulation game on Nintendo 64 that was made in Japan. It has its own train conductor like controller that sits on your lap and has the lever and the wheel and everything. And it has a microphone you can speak into it because you have to tell the passenger stuff, even though I don't know Japanese. I want to do that, and I want to wear a train hat. And then I want to do a whole... next October, I'm going to do 2 weeks of ninja games and straight ninja retro games. Nothing but ninja retro games, and I'm going to be dressed as a ninja. And then the other 2 weeks, I want to do Batman games, and I'm going to be dressed as the Joker. And I'm gonna do a full dye job on my hair. Like it's gonna be like straight like Heath Ledger but longer. And I'm gonna do the Joker for 2 weeks. I want to do that. I couldn't pull it off this year, and I want to do Geralt from The Witcher still. I promised that to some people, and I need to deliver on that promise.
That's awesome.
But that's about it as far as like new stuff. Other than that, I would love to like have my own version of something like this one day, because this is fun. Like talking to people on a podcast / live stream is something I enjoy doing. Something I would have a lot of fun with. But whatever my own style is, that's something I would consider doing, and having my own twist on it, right? So it's like it's its own thing. Like yours is your own thing. Other than that, that's about all I can think of right now.
Got Scarab 60. Very basic question, but a very good question. What do you like about streaming?
I really like that there's so many. For me, there's so many itches that are scratched at once. So I can be social, but I don't have to leave my house. I can play video games, and the people who are coming there either like me or like the similar content that I'm passionate about. And on that note, like having a community is something like I'm really good at being alone. I'm a solitude person. I prefer animals over people 9 times out of 10. But
I do have to recognize that as an ambivert, I have a very social side, and I sometimes starve that side. And over the pandemic, it's been starved, and I've felt, without knowing, depressed and not knowing about it and feeling unfulfilled and trying to figure out, oh well, what can I do about it? I don't want to go out to a bar. I don't want to go out all the time. And Twitch was like, even just watching before I streamed, like, that really felt good. It felt like, oh, I'm hanging out, you know, like, is it as good as hanging out with you guys in real life? No, but I get to kind of hang out with the people I want and experiment more with that. So there's the trade-off. And again, not leaving home, because I have 3 dogs and I can't leave them too long at a time. And I also, like, for me personally, like, I've always wanted to beat more. This is the nerd part of me. I want to beat more retro games growing up, or rebeat the games I had now. But like, I would always get halfway through, and as good as the game would be, I would lack motivation, because that's just me. Like, being on Twitch has allowed me to beat more games. And because I always set out to be a charity streamer, when I send that money to the organization at the end of the month and tell them how we got it, it just feels really fucking awesome. And I really appreciate you guys for always contributing and being a part of that. So that's what I like about streaming. All those elements have, and also I have ADHD, so that I'm having to do a bunch of stuff at once when I'm streaming, chatting, playing a game, looking at, links, doing all sorts of like stuff, and to me, it's hard for me to sit down for a while, but I can sit down and stream for hours on end and feel like I'm focused and feeling like I'm satiated mentally.
That's cool. I'll say this. I'm not a charity streamer per se, but I have done charity streams. And I'll just say this to those watching, the streamers that are watching. If you've never done a charity stream before, it is so fulfilling. Every April, as you guys know, I'm an amputee. And every April is Limb Loss Awareness Month. And this past April, I did a charity stream for an organization called Limbs for Life. And they're a nonprofit that assists amputees purchasing their prosthetic limbs for them. And I did a 24-hour stream straight through, and I raised $1,500 in that 24 hours. And this was like a month after I became affiliate. And I'm telling you guys, when that organization sees how much money you've raised for them, it is such a great feeling that you get from that. Because of my stream, a below-knee amputee was able to get a prosthetic limb and all the supplies needed. And that was, if I could raise money for every amputee to get one that needed one, I would do that. But one amputee got a leg because of me doing a charity stream. And if you guys,
yeah, that's awesome.
It is so awesome. And so if you're watching and you've never completed a charity stream before, I would absolutely recommend it. And if you need help, I can't speak for Possum, but I can speak for myself. I would absolutely help you any way that I can.
I'll help too.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Definitely.
There you go.
Faye has asked me for advice. I hope it was useful to her, and she's asked me for advice, and it's really, it's really simple. It's not hard. The only thing you really need is the desire to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the desire. You're absolutely right. It is the desire to do it.
Robin, I also got a lot of. I also used to tie T-shirts into ninja masks. Robin says that I remember once in an old issue of Nintendo Power, they showed me how to tie a square of fabric into a ninja mask. I got so much playtime mileage out of that. Me too. I used to think I was so cool.
That's really
White Ninja.
Does anyone else have any questions for? Scar had one here. What is your favorite games to stream? What are your favorite games to stream?
My favorite games to stream. Okay. Game types would have to be reflex-based platformers, because they're usually like aesthetically interesting, require skill, which has that element to it. they don't need a lot of, they usually don't have a lot of story. Not that you can't stream games with a lot of story, just my format and the way things work. Like and I do play games with story with dialogue, but then I act out the dialogue. But mostly like just fast-paced, reflex-based graphic games, or really esoteric like retro games that only like the retro community are familiar with if they're like deep into it, and like most people aren't, but they're being introduced to something cool, but they're interested in retro games. As far as like actual titles, because I stream so many different titles, it's hard to say, but something like Rocket Knight Adventures, again, one of my favorite games of all time, or Star Fox is a really good one, or Mario Party was fun when we played with Lauren and that casual gamer guy. That was a lot of fun.
So do you get happy when people say you corrupted them, or do you feel like a sense of accomplishment?
When they say I corrupted them, it simply just means that I unleashed their wild inner side. I didn't corrupt them at all. I simply gave them the key to unlock the cell of their id, their deep desires. It's Freudian. Look it up, okay?
Oh, I know
all right,
it,
Raven.
Without that, you said id. That I don't think.
Oh
that was
my
Freud.
God, Crucial.
Yeah, I know. I read that too. Crucial.
He's Crucial. Crucial's just fucking. He's a spicy meatball. That's
No,
all.
no. I trust me. He came into my community night one night.
He's a spicy.
we were doing Jackbox party games. Him and then
oh boy,
Twitchy Twicken came in, and it was something.
I'm sure Crucial was all over.
Oh, it was fantastic. Him, and then I had Twitchy Chicken, and then I forget the other girl that was in there. But oh my God, I was ready just to. It almost turned into like Twitch sex. It was just like,
yeah,
oh my God.
You know what? To be fair, like when I see like people playing those Jackbox games, it just always is sex. It always like breaks down to like dicks and tits. Really. Well, I mean, at the end of the day,
this Twitchy Chicken, and Crucial knows the other girl's name. I forgot what her name was, but they came in and they were like, holy cow, talking about snowballing, and I'm like, oh, jeez.
Cleveland Steamers and stuff.
Yeah, right. Like, oh my God.
My favorite genre? I would have to stream or to play alone.
That's a good question. That's a good,
because I stream games, retro games, because like in general, but things that I play offline are different than what I play on stream. And for example, I rarely stream RPGs online for the reason that they're grindy and whatnot. Like, but when I'm like playing by myself, there's things that like RPGs are probably one of the things I like the most that you'll never see me stream, because I like to take time to soak in the story, the emotion. I like to be alone and thinking about it. I like to grind the way I want to, not have the pressure of an audience to entertain. Like, I like to be absorbed in the story. That's why I usually don't pick games with the heavy story, because my entertainment style is over the top. I'm not a chill streamer, as in like I'm not like chill energy. Like, so chill energy streamers are perfect for story-based games. I'm just not built for that. So I like story-based JRPGs a hell of a lot, and I really like strategy games like XCOM or Command and Conquer, which are two different strategy games. Like I really love those, but those are two things you'll rarely see me stream because they're not streamable to my style per se. It doesn't mean I can't eventually do them. But another thing is I'm still new. I've been doing this for like 7 or 8 months. I consider that still new, having never had an online presence before. And, I'm still finding my style, but I would say those are my favorite genres in general. My favorite genre of the stream is just platformers and weird, just games that just have weird graphics or game mechanics that are just unique because they're fun to show off. And show people what hardware used to do and how they used to emulate 3D or whatever. Like, kind of like show off certain things that people don't know about. And, almost like as an exhibit, a history exhibit.
Scar is asking, what do you feel your accomplishments have been on Twitch since you've been on Twitch? That's another good question, Scar.
My accomplishments?
Mm-hmm.
I would say that, I mean, getting affiliate as fast as I did blew my mind.
That's crazy,
I
man.
didn't-
7 days.
Yeah, it was as fast as you're allowed to, 7 days. And I think I had all the stats in 5 or 6 days. And I was amazed by that, you know, and I felt really good about that. I'm not going to lie, I felt really good about that. And, like, I didn't really plan to make emotes for a while because I didn't think I'd have them. But within the next week, I had all 5 emotes unlocked. And I'm like, what? Wow.
God.
And I was like, I thought, like, hey, you know, maybe I'll raise $500 to $1,000 in the year while I'm building up my community, you know. And so far, we've raised $3,500 times 3 for charity.
Wow. Dude, that's awesome,
Yeah.
man. That is... I admire that. Good for you.
Thank you. And it feels good. It feels really, really good to do. And I don't think that you have to be 100% charity stream or anything like that. That's why I started. That's one of the pillars of why I personally started doing it. And so why I like doing it. I think it's great that people can come on here and make a little bit of money or even possibly a small side gig career, you know, like out of this. I think that's fantastic, and I think that you should do that. For me, it feels really good and motivates me personally to do that because I do okay financially in life in my business. I do okay. I'm comfortable, and that's all I ever want. So I'd rather leave a little bit of a mark, you know, doing something that I care about that isn't involved with just me. And it just, I don't know, it just feels really good.
That's incredibly
It's not like-
selfless of you. That's so cool, man.
Thank you. In a way, it's selfish too because it does make me feel good. I do get something out of it. I do feel fucking fantastic doing it. Like I feel good. It's better than things, you know. And I already have the things I need. So
That's so cool. Jetta is asking, have you repeated a game on stream? I'm assuming he means if you beat a game and then beat it again later on, like
play,
repeat it.
yeah. Oh, okay. Or yeah, play it. Yeah, exactly. Have I? I don't think I have yet. I don't think I've come back to a game that I either haven't beat or didn't beat and come back around to it yet. I don't think I have. No,
Oh,
I have not.
Does anyone else have any questions for Power? I'll leave room for one more question. We're coming, oh, geez, almost 2 hours. Of course, half hour of that was set up for people to come in, so about an hour and a half. But still, this was fun talking
I have
to
a
you.
big mouth.
It's okay. Nothing wrong with that, man. You're everything that you're very interesting to listen to talk. I'll say that you're not. It's not like I'm sitting here bored and like this is a lot of the. You're a very interesting person. I'll say that. That's why I love doing retro rap because it's like I learned so much about you guys. I mean, the idea behind retro rap is to connect streamers and viewers and viewers to other communities and for streamers to get their name out there. But for me, it's great because I'm learning all sorts of cool things about you guys.
Yeah, and I the same. We learn about each other through your retro rap as well, which is why I like it.
Yeah. Scar's asking, well, you did answer this, but perhaps she wasn't here when you answered it. Do you have any old video game consoles?
Yes, in fact, I have most of my childhood consoles that I stream from. Right, like on original hardware. One of my things about my stream is I do stream on original hardware most of the time. Like, if it's a new game, then no, but if it's a retro game, I'm streaming on original hardware, and I currently have Sega Saturn, Genesis, Sega CD, Super Nintendo, Wii U, PS2, Nintendo 64, GameCube, regular Nintendo, and Dreamcast, and PC FX, all hooked up and ready to stream.
So I got a question. Have you ever had to blow inside a Nintendo cartridge on stream to get it to work?
No, because I use an EverDrive. So
okay.
So I'll use a cart that has all the games on it, and it's still the authentic ROMs. I just don't want to change carts out every time because it's a pain.
Raven does. This will be the last question. Raven is asking, how do you feel about emulation, and would you ever emulate because of the rising prices of original hardware, which is actually very accurate.
By the way, give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Take your time, man.
2 seconds, guys.
Yep. The green screen's kind of bugging up behind them. That's kind of funny. It looks like part of them's just appearing and reappearing. While he's doing that, guys, if you haven't followed him, this is his link to follow, and this is his Twitter link, so you can give him a follow on Twitter as well. I hope you guys that have been watching Retro Rep have been enjoying it. I really enjoy doing it. It's awesome getting to know other streamers. If you want to be a guest on Retro Rep at PLG, you can send me an email. And right now, I am booking guests for the end of April, like the 23rd of April.
Oh my God! Sorry for the interruption. I was gonna burst. I tried to hold it to the end, but I couldn't do it anymore.
Oh, that's okay.
So sorry.
Man. That's okay.
That being said, that's a great question, Robin. I don't even know if I have time for RPGs. By the way, just notice you said that. I don't even know if I have time for RPGs. As far as how do I feel about emulation? Would you ever emulate because of the rising price of it? I love emulation. Just because I play, and I say that, I stress this. I love emulation. Just because I play on OG hardware doesn't mean you have to, or that's the definitive way to play. Here's the thing. I love doing it because I'm a nerd, and I have most of these systems. I am satisfied by thinking, hey, I'm playing on my childhood's Super Nintendo or the 64. I'm playing Wave Race with like time trial records that my dad and me still have on it, and I'm playing something that I played when I was a child, and I'm somehow broadcasting it to the internet from that piece of equipment. Like, I really, really kind of get off on that, and I like thinking about it, and I like nerding out to all the equipment that's involved in it, and thinking about how it works and how we're able to connect these two anachronistic pieces of technology, that never knew they were going to meet each other. I think so deeply about it. It's just interesting to me. But emulation is the key to preservation. If we're going to preserve these games and make them available to people who want to easily play them, emulation is the future, and it is the only way that retro is going to ultimately be preserved for historical purposes and also for purposes of being accessible to everyone. And I think it's incredibly important, and I really hate when people gatekeep and say you shouldn't play it if you can't play on original hardware. If you can play it on original hardware, do so. Please do, but that's just not feasible or practical. As far as games are ridiculous